Uyinene Mkhwetyana, a UCT student, was only 19 when she was murdered by a post office employee, Luyanda Botha. 4 years later, students gathered to discuss the extent in which women and children are still being raped and killed. Over 250 young student leaders from universities and TVET colleges in the Western Cape and other relevant stakeholders held a dialogue to discuss ways to combat GBV.
If you look at people who are perpetrators and been in the correctional services, or even from the data that's coming in, men have been the reason. Men are one of the biggest reasons of perpetrator. So we are asking transforming mentality, which means men needs to transform. So if they are a problem, then they need to be finding a solution with us. They should also be the reason of a solution into how we resolve gender-based violence. So definitely, transforming mentality is one of the biggest programs.
We have come to this moment in our lives 400 years later, and I'm not only saying 1652, of brutality, cruelty, usurpation, violence perpetrated against our people for the sake of building a halfway station, for the sake of using the Cape as a halfway point for the shipment of human cargo, also known as enslaved people.
The department says patriarchy and toxic masculinity are some of the leading factors for GBV and femicide at universities.
We cannot hide behind abbreviations and acronyms. We want to call gender-based violence and femicide what it is. It is rape, it is sexual harassment, it is a demand by lecturers for sex in exchange for marks. It is some of the corrupt practices in the allocation of accommodation on campuses in exchange for sex.
How do we deal with such issues that society faces, and what solutions ought we bring to the table? So it's essentially that dialogue element that is quite important, and also the conscientization of such issues, and just the conscientization over small matters like consent. I think the CEO of Higher Health shared a scary statistic of maybe 55% of males in the tertiary education sector don't fully understand what consent is.
A similar initiative will be held at other tertiary institutions across the country in the coming months. Athule Joga, SABC News, University of Cape Town.